सततं कीर्तयन्तो मां यतन्तश्च दृढव्रताः नमस्यन्तश्च मां भक्त्या नित्ययुक्ता उपासते. Yes. Satatam kirtayantaha, term number 1. Yatantaha, term number 2. Let us give it a logical sequence. Term number 2, yatantaha. Term number 3, namasyantaha. Term number 4, dridhavrataha. Term number 5, nityayuktaha. This is how a seeker slowly evolves and becomes a Mahatma. So what is the first term? Satatam kirtayantaha. First term. Whenever we hear the term kirtanam, we think of singing bhajans, isn't it? With dholak, etc. Of course, that is also a good way of remembering God, but real meaning of kirtanam has to be understood. Kirtanam means glorification. What is actual glorification? When you are inspired by some ideal, then that is a real kirtanam you are doing. Inspired by some higher ideal, this is real kirtanam. So satatam kirtayantaha means ever inspired by that ideal. Now here the ideal is spiritual ideal. A person is fully inspired to live that nobler way of life. Now how does he gain this inspiration? There is no other way. Satsang alone is the way. What is that verse? Satsangatve nisangatvam nisangatve nirmohatvam nirmohatve nischalatatvam nischalatatve jivan mukti. Bhaj govindam govindam bhaj mudhamate. So the first one is satsang, association with the wise, exposure to the wise people, mingling with the wise, listening to the wise. This is the only way in which you can be inspired to live that higher value. There is no other way. What happens when you expose yourself to the wise people? You come to know that you are otherwise. Isn't it? For the first time you come to know that you are ignorant. Otherwise everyone thinks that I am the most knowledgeable person in this world. But the moment you expose yourself to the wise people, you come to know, oh my God, I never knew these things exist. I thought the purpose of life is only to study, get a job, get married, build a house, get settled, children, grandchildren, get them settled, and that's it. I never knew that there is a higher purpose in life. When do you come to know? You come to know only when you approach the masters. And then what happens? When you remain with them, when you interact with them, when you listen to them, slowly you are inspired. How are you inspired? You find that this person is the one who has no such laukika sampat, having almost nothing with him, but at the same time most contented, most happy, cheerful, very clear in his understanding about life. When you are exposed to such people, you come to at least have faith that this person is definitely living a right life, isn't it? Remember, whenever you come across peaceful people, happy people, you also tend to become happy, isn't it? And opposite is also true. As Pujya Gurudev used to say, some people give happiness wherever they go, some whenever they go. This is true with everyone. When we interact with people, what kind of vibration this person is having? Vibration is not external, it is a kind of thought which he will take you to. Some people are there always complaining about everything in life. And within 5-10 minutes you are bored, you are disturbed, and you come out disturbed. Next time when you see that person, you run away. Because why to get unnecessarily disturbed? But there are some people, The moment you mix with them, you just be with them, interact with them, talk to them, and after 5-10 minutes you feel, Arey, all the problems of my, mind, I feel as though my mind has become lightened. That heaviness of the mind has gone. Mind has become fresh. You feel like that. Then what you do? You tend to go and meet that person again and again. Yes or no? Yes. And slowly, when you listen to these Mahatmas, you come to know that yes, there is a higher way of living. There is a higher purpose of life. And then a time comes when you are inspired. This is called Satatam Kirtayantaha. Now there is a purpose in your life. There is a goal in your life. You may have short-term goal, long-term goal, immediate goal, etc. But now your lifetime goal becomes very clear. What is the lifetime goal? There is only one: knowing my divine nature. It becomes very clear to you. Once it becomes clear to you, the next step happens automatically. What is the next step? Yatantaha. Yatantaha means striving. Once you are inspired by a higher goal, you cannot but strive for it. Yatantaha, striving. To the extent you are clear about the goal, to that extent your striving becomes intense and single-pointed. Once the goal is clear, and this goal becomes clear through Shravanam and Mananam. Listening to the scriptures, reflecting upon the scriptures. The more and more you reflect, the more and more the goal becomes clear to you. And in the light of this scriptural knowledge, when you analyze your experience, these experiences make it sure that scriptural knowledge is the ultimate and this alone should be the goal of life. Then each and every experience which you go through in life make you wiser day by day. Then you become very clear about the goal. Now you strive to gain that goal. Yatantaha. But now in this striving you will find lot of difficulties. What is the difficulty? For so many years and so many births you have lived in the wrong way. So therefore lot of vasanas are there in the mind. Lot of addictions are there. Lot of negative inclinations are there. Tendencies are there. So in the beginning you find it very, very difficult. So now there is a tug of war between your mind and the intellect. The mind which is used to living the negative ways of life, compromising with everything in life, this is one side. On the other side, the intellect which has gathered the new knowledge from the scriptures. Now here is a tug of war. Intellect wants you to live a spiritual way. Mind wants you to live the indulgent worldly way. Now in the beginning, who wins? It is always the mind which wins. Intellectually I am very clear, but I am not able to live it. This is the problem. Every seeker has to undergo this problem. There is no choice. Very many times you fail. And many times you feel, I think I am not fit for this path at all. What a person I am. You feel very sad, very miserable. I know that this is wrong, but even then I am doing it. What a tragedy. I know my mind is showing me the wrong direction, but even then I tend to follow that mind. This is the struggle. Yatantaha. Now this period is quite a long period, but one thing is for sure, as you keep struggling, slowly, your intellect start becoming more and more stronger. Your intellect becomes more and more stronger. Because now intellect is fighting with a monster like mind. Naturally, when you fight with a strong person, what should become to you? You should become strong. When you fight with the strong, you become strong. And this way, slowly, the power gets transferred from mind to the intellect. Every time when we compromise, when we fail, when we yield to temptations, by God's grace, after the temptation is over, the wisdom comes. After yielding to temptation, the wisdom comes. So when the wisdom comes, the intellect says, see, I have told you not to do this. Now you suffer. Isn't it? So slowly, by falling very many times, the intellect slowly becomes stronger. But even then, it becomes almost impossible to handle the mind. Bhagwan himself says, Daivi Hesha Gunamai Mama Maya Duratyaya. Bhagwan has said it. It is impossible to cross over my Maya. Crossing over the Maya means winning over the mind, conquering the mind. Bhagwan has said it is impossible. So then what happens? A time comes when you are putting forth all your effort to conquer the mind, but you find that this mind is terrible. Pramathi balavadridham, chanchalam, asthiram. These are the terms used about the mind. And then comes a time when you are totally exhausted. You have used all what you could do, but even then you are failing. Then what happens? Then comes the next stage, namasyantaha mam bhaktya. Then comes total surrender. A time comes when you say, Bhagwan, I think I cannot reach you. With my force, with my strength, I will never be able to reach you. Bhagwan, you only have to lift me. I surrender. Now remember, this surrender will not come until you have put forth all your effort. This surrender will not come. Because why? If you have not put forth effort, you still have hope that maybe a little more effort and I will reach. You still have confidence upon your own ability, your own strength. As long as you are confident upon your own strength, remember, you can never win over the mind. Why? Because confidence in one's own strength is nothing but ego. An egoistic person can never win over the mind. Simple. A time comes in every seeker's life where he is putting forth his best of effort. Sadhana is there. He is sincerely striving in spiritual path, but there is no success. And then comes this wonderful moment where you say, Bhagwan, I am helpless. Trahimam, Pahimam, Bhagwan, save me. I can't. I will never be able to reach you. And the moment that surrender happens, Bhagwan's grace, that very same moment, it descends. And when the grace it descends, you find this monster mind is nowhere there. It becomes tame. It becomes very, flexible, very obedient, very nice, peaceful. And then you learn a great lesson. What is the greatest lesson you learn? If I want to handle this mind, there is only one way. I have to surrender in front of God. Surrender to God alone is the way in which I can conquer this mind. Otherwise, it's not possible. Devi hesha gunamai mama maya duratyaya. But Mam eva ye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. Those people who take refuge in me, they will cross over this maya. This is the only condition. So therefore what happens? Slowly, this experience comes to you again and again. You are striving, you are not winning, and ultimately you surrender, and the moment you surrender, the mind is quiet. When this experience comes to you time and again, slowly, this surrendering unto God becomes your way of life. Surrendering unto God means doing everything in order to please God. Now slowly, what happens to your life? Earlier you were doing egoistic sadhana. Now you do a sadhana which is based more on surrendering unto the Lord, which is based more on pleasing the Lord. Now slowly, what happens to your life? You always ask only one question, Bhagwan, if I do this, will you be pleased with me? That's it. This is a great lesson to be learned. Without taking the help of God, you can never conquer the mind. Know it for sure. It is impossible. Without taking refuge in Him, you can never conquer the mind. And more you come to know this truth, more and more your life will be a God-oriented life. God-oriented life means what? Your goal becomes only one. Oh God, are you pleased with my action? If this action pleases you, I will do it even though I may not like doing it. This is called God-oriented living. Every time you have only one question to ask. Bhagwan, will you be pleased with me with this action? So every day, morning and evening, you sit for meditation, you are with God, you converse with God. You strike a conversation. And every time you close your eyes, you know that this consciousness in you is God. Now you are in front of God. So if you have done something immoral, something bad, That first thing comes in front of your mind, isn't it? And then there is a conscience prick. And that prick of conscience clearly reveals to you that Bhagwan is not happy with you. Then what do you try to do? Now this becomes your greatest asset in life. That Bhagwan must be pleased with me. Then you try out so many methods. Bhagwan, please, sorry, this place, such and such place, I have committed a mistake. Please forgive me. And when that prayer comes from the depth of the heart, suddenly you will find the tears welling up in the eyes and the mind is clean. So now you understand, Bhagwan has forgiven me. He is loving me. Now you know the value of that love much more. Once you experience that intimate relationship with God, you don't want to miss it. Because you come to know that whenever I am with God, peace comes to me naturally. Confidence comes to me naturally. Strength comes to me naturally. Everything that is blessed, everything that is auspicious comes to me naturally whenever God is pleased with me. So my only job in life is to make Bhagwan pleased with me. So all your actions are, fine-tuned in order to gain this result. But there are moments when we tend to yield to our temptation because of our past vasanas. We become little careless, and then that tempting object is in front, we yield. Then what happens? That evening when you sit for meditation, you had it. When you are yielding to temptation, nothing will be there because your mind is extrovert. As long as the mind is extrovert, you will never know the voice of God. What is He saying? You will never know. Because you are not listening. And as you are not listening, you think that there is no voice. It is there. But at the seat of meditation, when you look within, you come to know there is this Bhagwan with. This way, slowly, relationship develops. And then what happens to you? You become Dridhavrataha, next term. Dridhavrataha means the one who is firm in his vows. Once he has taken a vow, he will not budge from it. He will not deviate from it. Dridhavrataha. How did he become Dridhavrataha? Now he has only two options. One option is indulge and become miserable in front of God. Because he knows, if I indulge, I will not be in a position to face God. And moreover, I will lose everything that is good and auspicious. The other option is, do what is right and be ever under the loving grace of God. The choice becomes very clear to him. So therefore, slowly he becomes Dridhavrataha. Whatever is right, he does it. And whatever is right, he starts loving it. Whatever is wrong, he hates it. Bas, problem is over. It takes time, no doubt, but it happens. Slowly it happens. Slowly, such a person becomes an integrated person, having an integrated personality, which is termed here as Nitya Yuktaha, ever integrated. So see how slowly you develop. Satatam Kirtayantaha. First you keep the goal, then you strive. And as you keep striving, you will find divine guidance coming to you. Every time you fall, there is this divine presence which will say, okay, no problem, get up. Doesn't matter. So then you come to know, my God, Bhagwan is really an ocean of compassion. Because how many mistakes I am doing, but even then Bhagwan gives me another chance. Come on, get up. Don't worry. Forget the past. Come on. And then you find so much of love for God. Then this divine relationship grows day by day. Now these things cannot come by reading books. No. You may be a scholar, but still all these experiences you will miss if you are not regular in your sadhana. Morning and evening you have to sit. You have to spend time with God. Then you will come to know all these secrets, the mysteries. And more you are tuned to God. All your actions become effortless and tension-free, stress-free. All your actions also become divine. You become a perfect instrument in the hands of the Lord. This way, when the tuning happens properly, you start really enjoying life. And the price is, yes, it is Sometimes it is called as walking the razor's edge. Why is it called walking the razor's edge? See, in the beginning it is not razor's edge. In the beginning, even if when you commit mistake, there is no one to blame you, and you don't feel the conscience prick also. In the beginning you never feel. But slowly, as you go nearer and nearer to God, as God starts feeling that yes, you are one of my bhaktas, when He starts accepting you, then you feel all this pain. Are you able to follow? As long as God is a stranger, you will never experience this. But every day when you do sadhana, every day when you start cleaning your mind, just like we clean our body, mind has also to be cleaned. As you clean the mind, as you make the mind more and more pure, you are able to listen to the voice within. You are able to listen to the guidance within. Then there is only one job, just follow the guidance. Bas. And this guidance becomes clearer and clearer as the mind becomes purer and purer. Therefore, the Mahatmas give maximum importance to Daivi Prakriti. Understand, they are all connected. The guidance, the love, the peace, all these you experience as you near God. And the moment you commit some mistake, you are like fish out of water. The whole world will be praising you, but in the eyes of the Lord, if you have not made Him happy, you are like fish out of water. You are miserable. The whole world may be criticizing you, but in the eyes of the Lord, if you are pure, then you can face the whole world with the strength of a lion. It is possible. This is how the devotee rises slowly. In fact, Bhagwan himself lends hand to him and he takes him higher and higher. For all this thing to happen, what is important? Your regular sadhana is very, very important. Just by reading books, nothing is going to happen. Reading books, we can give you only information. Information is not transformation. Here, the person transforms. A time comes when even when the temptation is in front, nothing happens to him. Why nothing happens to him? Because the joy of indulgence is much less than the pain of repentance. So even when that object is in front, even though he knows that this object can give me pleasure, but he will never dare to indulge in it because he knows the consequences. Such a person becomes nitya yukta and dridhavrata, firm. He comes to know everything this world can offer is nothing but pain. There is only one who can really give me happiness and peace. It is God. Such a person becomes master of the world and master of his mind. This is what God makes. The moment you choose God, He will make you the master of your mind and master of the world. The moment you choose world, you will become a slave of the world and slave of your mind. Choice is yours. Whom to choose your master? God or world? So this is the difference between Duratma and Mahatma. Have you seen the difference? On one side, Moghasha, Moghakarmanaha, Moghajnana Vichetasaha, Rakshasim Asurim Chaiva, Prakritim Mohinim Sritaha. On one side. Another side, Mahatma's description. Nitya Yukta, Dridhavrata. Now tell me, who enjoys life? Duratma or Mahatma? It is always Mahatma who enjoys life. But yes, in the beginning, Agre Vishamiva Pariname Amrutopamam. In the beginning it is like poison. Your mind is tempting you to indulge, but your intellect says no. The voice of God says no, you are not supposed to indulge. It is like poison. You have to give up the pleasures of the world. Agre Vishamiva. In the beginning it's like poison, but Pariname Amrutopamam. It is like nectar. What about this worldly pleasure? Agre Amrutopamam. In the beginning it is nectarian. Pariname Vishamiva. End result is poisonous.